a girl, what a world, what a light. Oh, I married Joan. What a mind, love is blind, what a wife.
Joan Davis with Jim Backus in
I married Joan.
Well, here's our problem, gentlemen. Robinson's leaving town, and there's a vacancy on the board. Now, who are we going to get to fill it?
Say, how about Judge Stevens? He'd be a good man.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Judge. Leader in the community.
He was a Navy officer in the last war, I believe. I think he'd be very good for the board.
Okay, then. This is great.
Sure.
I'll have the girl get a letter out to him right away. Uh-oh.
What's the matter, Joe?
Either you fellas ever met Mrs. Stevens?
Yeah. I know Joan.
Well, we can always classify ourselves 1A and escape. I think we can take a chance. Huh?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
Was that the mailman, Joni?
Uh-huh.
Anything interesting?
Gas company, notice of a lodge meeting, selective service draft board 124, telephone... Draft board? But... Dear Judge Stevens, in accordance with the powers granted by the President of the United States, Selective Service Board 124 would appreciate your appearing before to discuss the matter of your service to our country on Thursday. Brad! Look, Brad, they're going to draft you. Oh, promise me, darling, that you'll make friends with the sergeant and tell them in a nice way, of course, that when it's raining, you can't march. And if they ask you to lift anything heavy, explain to them about your bad back and that you're not allowed to eat fried foods.
Joan,
Better yet, darling, I'll go with you, dear.
Oh, Joan, you...
Oh, Brad, darling, I'll go with you no matter where they station you, sweetheart. I don't care if I have to live in one room and cook over one burner, just as long as we can be together. I'll see that you don't get hurt.
Joan, you...
I know what. Ask the draft board to give you a desk job.
Now, Joan, look.
Oh, promise me you will, darling. Explain to them about your sinuses and your awful heartburn. Oh, why did they have to take you?
Joan, let me see that.
Oh, why couldn't they take someone who's alive?
The kind of draft notification I got the last time. For instance, they say they'd appreciate my appearing before them. Last time it was, you be there or else.
I know, but I hear they're much politer now.
Still, anyway. Well, look, Joan, I'm not in quite as bad shape as you seem to think.
Oh, no. I saw you brushing your teeth this morning. Why, you got so winded you had to rest before you could gargle.
Wait a minute, Joan. A couple of weeks training and I'll be back in condition.
You mean you're not going to ask him for a desk job?
Of course not.
But, honey, what if they make you go on one of those long hikes with full pack? You'd never make it.
Joan,
Well, you just couldn't. But, here, helmet.
Will you please?
Knapsack. See, honey? Look, see, honey? You haven't marched a step and you're already out of breath. I told you that you're not as young as you used to be, dear. Now, listen, promise me that you'll ask them for a desk job. Thank you, dear. I knew you would. You see, you just listen to Mommy and you're going to be all right.
All right. Listen, Mommy, I was in the service for 4 years and never took the beating I just did.
But, Brad...
Now, you listen to me for a change. In the first place, if they put me any place, they'll put me in the Navy because that's where I was the last time.
Oh, yes, the Navy.
Yes, in the second place, let's leave it up to them to decide whether or not I end up in a desk job.
But, lover, do you mean that you'd go on a ship?
Well, if I was assigned there, yes.
But, lover, if you go on a ship, how can I go with you? What'll the other sailors say?
Oh.
And besides, you're a judge. It's practically your patriotic duty to be in the Navy's legal department.
Well, if they think so, that's where they'll put me.
Well, and another thing. Why, you get seasick even looking at a piece of soap floating in the bathtub.
That's not the truth, Joan, and you know it. After all, I spent 3 years on a ship, you know.
Yes, dear, but that's when you were young and healthy. But now, miserable on a ship, darling. Promise me that you'll ask them for a desk job.
I will definitely not ask them.
All right, Bradley J. Stevens. If you want to be so stubborn about it, I'll just have to prove to you that you're in no condition to stand Navy life.
Oh, Joan. Oh, Joni, I'm home. Joan, what are you trying...
Now hear this. Chow is now being served in the mess hall.
Tony, I know exactly what you're trying to do. But if you think you can frighten me into talking the draft board into a desk job, you're mistaken.
Now hear this. Now hear this. All Navy personnel will serve themselves.
All right. What are these?
Hardtack.
Couldn't you make softer hardtack? That's a service.
You forgot your ice cream. Now hear this. Now hear this. The water's getting rough outside. A nor'wester is blowing up. Now hear this. Now hear this. I don't feel so good.
How you feeling now, lover?
I feel a little better, dear.
Now maybe you won't bother me about getting a desk job.
Desk job. All Navy personnel will now hit the sack.
What? Well, it's only 7 o'clock. I can't go to bed now.
Well, you'd better if you want to get any sleep tonight.
Why?
Because tonight you are standing watch from midnight till 4.
What? But, Joan, would you...
Can't take it, huh?
Well, I can't. I'll show you whether I can take it or not.
Yes, dear?
Well, where are the beds?
I had them put in the garage.
In the garage?
Well, I figured an old Navy man like you.
Oh, I get the point. Yes.
Shall we?
What?
Up here, Popeye.
Oh, wait. I can't do it, huh?
Like to see it, that's all.
You'll call my bluff. There we go.
All right.
Top bunk, huh? Here we go. Well, listen. You think it's so easy? Let's see you do it.
I'm not trying trying to join the Navy.
Well, just as I thought. All you can do is sit there and laugh like that.
Like that? No, I got lots of laughs. Ho, 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 ha, ha, ha.
Oh, now stop, Joan. You're stalling because you know that it isn't easy.
Oh, no. Let's face it, Fatso, darling. The parade has passed you by.
Oh, yeah? You wouldn't like to make a bet that you can't do it, would you?
Now, just stop, dear, and be a good loser, will you?
I'll bet you a new hat.
Honestly, you're acting like a child with a feather in it?
With a feather in it.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's make a real contest out of it, huh? We'll take turns. Now, if I get up in here first, I get the hat with the feather on it. And if you get in here first...
You don't get any new clothes for 3 months.
Yes. Hmm? Well...
All right. Bet. Ladies first, you know. Even in the Navy, yes. After you, my dear. There we go. Practical.
Would you like to double the bet? 2 new hats?
All right, you're on. 2 new hats or no new clothes for 6 months.
All right, dear. Now, I'll bet you that I can get into this hammock on the very next try.
All right, that's... Go.
All right, dear.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait up. That's... I mean, well...
2 new hats. Good night, dear.
6 months without any new clothes.
Hello, Joan. Hi, Harriet.
Joan, are you going away?
Brad's been drafted.
Drafted?
Yes, and I'm going with him. Whether he's stationed in the Pentagon or on a ship, I'm going to be near him, see?
But, Joan,
Oh, excuse me. Sit down, Harriet. Hello? Yes, darling.
You and your ridiculous logic. When will I ever get used to it? 9 years I've been married to you. Still, when you jump to one of your peculiar conclusions, I'm silly enough to follow you.
How? What?
I'm not being drafted at all. They just want me to serve on the board. You read a letter, decide I'm being drafted, and I begin to make plans for leaving. Joan, do you realize the trouble you could have caused me?
Bye, dear.
Joan, what happened?
It's all a mistake. Brad isn't being drafted.
Oh, how wonderful. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Now we don't have to leave our lovely home. We can stay here after all.
Well, then, for heaven's sakes, why are you acting so sad?
Because this morning I rented the house for a whole year. Hello, Mr. Spencer? This is Mrs. Stevens. Say, I'm awfully sorry, but Huh? Well, how'd you know I wanted to change my mind? Oh, well, men do, too, sometimes, you know. Well, look, Well, what if the Burtons have given notice? Can't they find another place? Now, really, They're coming over this afternoon with some of their clothes. Well, Mr. Spencer, you see, if I could... Mr. Spencer... Mr. Spencer. I'm dead.
Oh, but Joan, he's only the broker. Maybe the Burtons themselves will let you off.
What, when they're practically moving in today?
There was just some way we could make them change their minds.
That's it.
What's this?
Well, look, I can't ask them to change their minds. I gotta make them change it. And you gotta help me.
Me now, Joan, now, wait a
Listen,
minute.
Harriet, is your handyman going to be around today?
Joe? Yeah?
Well, good, I can use him now. Here's the plans. We'll gaslight him.
Gaslight them?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, you saw that picture, Gaslight, remember? Where they made the woman think that she was crazy and she really wasn't?
Yeah.
Well, we'll make the people who rented the place think they're crazy. Because when they get here, what they see won't be what they saw. Because they won't see what they saw, see? Well, you see, if we see, that is, if they saw, well, it must be a good idea. It's driving me crazy already. Come in.
It's the right number, Agnes.
Oh, are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
George, you know your memory.
Listen, Agnes, don't...
George, where's all the furniture?
How do I know?
Oh, George, do something.
Okay. What'll I do?
Let's ask her what. George, where'd she go?
She went to... Well, how do I know where she went?
George, what was that?
That was
George!
Say, what's going on here?
We're supposed to move in here and... Ritual time. Maha! Aha!
Look here, I don't understand this at all.
I don't either.
Understand? You don't understand?
No, I don't.
It's very simple. You put the tobacco in there, the water go down there, smoke go in here, go round and round. Ho, ho, come out there.
Lady, I don't know what your game is, but I have this lease.
Lease? What is a lease, please?
Where are the Stevenses who own this place?
Stephen, they no more. They died 5 years ago. Spirits come back sometime, though.
But I have this signed lease.
Oh, those spirits, they ain't sign anything. 2 gone ritual, 1 gone rice.
Maha!
Aha!
What is this, a cult?
No, it's rice. You like?
No.
Have a dry? You like to play with gong? Kick around maybe, huh, kid? Real crazy.
George, let's get out of here.
I agree. Wait a minute, Agnes, I'm not going. That's just what you want us to do, isn't it? You know what I think? I think that you're Mrs. Stevens and you've cooked this whole thing up.
I not cook nothing. Mrs. Stevens, who he? I, Princess Maha Tum Tum Kumquat. Tumquat. Tum Tum? No. Quat Tum Tummy Tum. Quat Tum. My friends call me Maha.
Maha.
Aha. Maha. Aha.
You don't fool me, lady. You're just trying to break this lease. The agent told me you called and tried to get out of it.
I don't try to get out nothing.
I'll bet you are, Mrs. Stevens, and you've changed your mind. But we're too smart for you. We've made a deal, and you're going to stick to it. What do you say to that?
Yeah, what do you say to that?
Voila, da. Ritual time.
Ma.
Where's the phone?
No use calling, Mr. Stevens. Very busy man.
What's going on?
This house and this Princess Maha won't let us in.
Rented this house? Princess who?
Maha.
Aha! Maha! I tell you.
Said they'd be here at 9 this morning, 9:45. Maybe they changed their mind. Maybe they left town. Maybe. Gee, I only rented the house for a year. That's a year. It'll be over in 6 or 7 months with time off for good behavior. I mean, well, the Burtons will take good care of the house. George seemed like a pretty nice guy. Although I wouldn't mind scratching Agnes up a little.
Wait a minute, Joan. Did you say George Burton?
Yes, George Burton, that's his name.
Oh, no. Oh, is that wonderful?
Darling, relax. I know shock is setting in here, but...
Oh, honey, no wonder they're late. They're not going to show up today or tomorrow or next week or...
What do you mean?
Well, the very first name that came up before us at the draft board was George Burton. And they drafted him.
And we've got our house back?
Oh, exactly, honey.
Well, don't just stand there, darling. Carry me over the threshold.
I married Joan. What a girl, what a
Seen in tonight's cast were Mary Treen, Charles Smith, Melitza Kalki, Jesse Simberg, Arthur Lovejoy, George Eldridge, and Herbert Lytton.